If you want to achieve the results you desire, you're going to have to put forth intentional effort. All I'm asking you to do is schedule the tasks that matter to you. In the world of productivity, every task that is important to you is on your calendar. I'm going to teach you some great strategies that you can use to trick your brain into doing hard things, but you must be willing to implement them. So when you find yourself procrastinating, the first thing I want you to do is identify why you don't want to do the task at hand. This is because you only procrastinate on tasks that you really don't want to do. Think about it. You don't have to force yourself to do the tasks that you enjoy. So when you recognize that you only encounter resistance when it's an activity that you don't want to do, that's when you want to take a few minutes to ponder the reason why you don't want to do that particular activity. For example, do you think it's boring? Do you think it's extremely difficult? Does it make you uncomfortable? Once you figure out why you are avoiding the activity, you are ready to develop your plan of action. The truth is that most of us know exactly what we need to do to improve our lives. However, we typically don't do those things because we perceive them as hard. Now that I've set the foundation, let's talk about the actual strategies that you can utilize in order to trick your brain into doing hard things. Tip number 1. You must avoid trying to tackle too much from the beginning. So, if you are setting a massive to-do list from the start, you must realize that that will not work, because what happens is you end up getting overwhelmed. And then the overwhelm makes you despise doing the task, and then you end up quitting. Your brain wants to skip hard things, and that's why you procrastinate. That's why you postpone those things that you know you should be doing. And so one of the easiest ways to trick your brain is to utilize time bounding. Time bounding helps you leverage the power of small wins. So basically, you start small and tell yourself that you're just going to do the task for a few minutes. So instead of committing to working out for a full hour, say, I'm just going to work out for 10 minutes. And you can use this same tactic for reading, for studying. Even activities that you don't want to do can be done with ease in short bursts. What's likely to happen is that once you get started, you will end up doing the task for a longer period of time. This happens all the time. I use the time bounding technique on days when I don't feel like working out. The hardest part for me is getting up and getting started. But once I start my workout, I'm fine. And then I'm happy that I did it once I'm finished. It helps me to feel good about myself. It helps me get my energy levels up. And so if you are willing to just say, hey, I'm going to do this for a few minutes, once you get into it, it won't be as difficult to keep going. Tip number 2, commit to rewarding yourself when the task is complete. James, author of Atomic Habits, refers to this technique as temptation bundling. This is when you pair a task that you want to do with a task that you need to do. By positively associating the hard task with something that you enjoy, your brain will trick itself. Then you'll be more motivated to do it. Rewards are a great source of motivation, and they drive us when we're stuck or when we need to perform difficult tasks. Tip number 3, create a new identity. To trick your brain into doing hard things, you want to make sure that the hard thing is something you do and a part of who you are. For example, instead of practicing for an upcoming presentation, you see yourself as a speaker. What do speakers do? They speak. So the more you speak, the more you will begin to feel like a speaker. The more you feel like that person, the easier the task becomes. The more you do it, the more you become that sort of person. So the key is to align your identity with the actions of the type of person you want to become, not the result. Tip number 4, rewire your brain. Your brain keeps a record of the past, and because of this, we have automatic thoughts and automatic habits. Automatic thoughts and automatic habits happen without any effort or deliberation on your part. And this is why it is important that you create habits that work for you and not against you. Our brains automate what we do on a regular basis. And so when you establish a good routine around the task that you deem important, it's so much easier for you to get those tasks done. For example, you never have to think about how to get home, right? You don't have to think about how to brush your teeth. These are activities that you do automatically. So what if you automatically exercised for 3 to 4 days a week? What if you automatically studied for a set amount of time on a certain day of the week? The truth is that you can create any pattern or routine that you'd like to create. If you've ever thought, I'm just not a good test taker, you are dealing with confirmation bias. This is a term coined by Peter Watson, an English psychologist. This is when the brain seeks information that will reinforce beliefs that are already held. If you find yourself saying, I'm not a good writer, or I'm not good at math, your job is to stop reaffirming what you've always believed. Again, you simply want to create a new identity. Bonus tip: if you'd like to spend more time on the task, change your thinking so that the hard thing looks good and the alternative looks bad. For example, you can study or you can be unprepared when test day arrives. Which one is better? And make sure that you know why you want to do this hard thing. If you don't know why, chances are you will lose motivation pretty quickly. So make a commitment. Turn the hard thing into a habit. Every day at a particular hour, you will do this one hard thing. Pure focus. You won't be multitasking or checking your phone. And then you want to take it easy at first, and then gradually lengthen the amount of time you spend on this task. When you're doing something hard, your brain will try to find ways to get you to stop doing it. You'll want to look things up or find more efficient ways of doing the hard thing. But don't give in to those thoughts. When you are in a work session, you want to be focused until you finish the task at hand. If you consistently put in the hard work, you will not only stand out from the crowd, but you will also increase your chance of hitting and even exceeding your goals. So don't spend too much time working around the hard task. Just do the hard thing instead. Once positive habits are formed, you will find it much easier to be consistent, and you will actually begin to enjoy the task that you once resisted. Listening to the strategies are great, but nothing will change if you aren't willing to take action. Which tips are you planning to try out this week? Be sure to come back and let us know which one works best for you.